It's beginning to look a lot like time for you and your budget to get ready for the holidays. Hello and welcome. Whether you like it or not, whether you're ready or not, the holidays are fast approaching. The holidays can be a real budget buster. You have the best intentions, but you end up overspending, getting the latest toys, the latest electronics. Some of us are still trying to keep up with the Joneses, or you get caught up in that feeling of Christmas, the magic of the season, and before you know it, you have overextended yourself and you're whipping out that credit card. Whether you've been saving throughout the year, kudos, or haven't even started thinking about it, it's okay. Here are some tips for prepping your budget for the holidays. For those of you who have long started saving for this holiday season, feel free to share some of your best catching up tips for those of us who are just getting started. So on to it. You better think about your plans. What do you plan to do? What activities do you plan to be a part of? And don't just think about Christmas. We have fall coming up. There are fall festivals, Oktoberfest, beer crawls. Of course, there's Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Festivus, New Year's, all of the holiday parties, the Christmas programs and plays and the parades. There's so many activities coming up in these cooler months. There's a lot to be a part of. Say there was a fall festival last year that you missed, that you said, I won't miss it this year. You'll just want to start at least thinking about what all you plan to do, put it on the list, and see if you can squeeze it in. Next up, let's consider any travel plans. The holidays aren't just about gifts and money. It's about spending time together, and that in most cases can be even better. So think about if you plan to do a lot of flying during the holidays. It's a good time, if you haven't already, to look into bus or train ticket pricing just to see about how much that is going to cost you. Are you going to have people over for the holidays? Are you having family visit? That can add additional costs. If you're hosting someone in your home, it may not be travel costs, but it could be extra utilities. It could be extra food. And so you'll want to consider any travel plans at all. It can be pretty expensive to travel during the holidays, but if you can at least plan for it, you're most likely to spend a little less. Next up is to consider gift giving. Who are you getting gifts for if you're getting gifts for others? Your family, your friends, your coworkers, your leader at work, your neighbor, the postal worker. Who do you plan to get gifts for? And start to allot an amount to those gifts, to each individual gift. About how much do you want to spend for each gift? Take my family, for example. The adults in my family give each other a gift. There's my mom, my dad, my stepmom, my stepdad, and my sister. And then there are my two nephews. So say we're giving each other $25 gifts a piece. That is $125 for the adults. Now, I also have my two nephews, and I normally give them more than $25 gifts. I normally give them about $75 a piece. So that's $150 for my nephews. And then $125 for the adults. Together, that's $275 that I can start to put up for in order to afford gifts for my family. There are times when I feel a little more generous, so I may actually end up putting up $300, $350, because I may be in Starbucks and I may pick up a gift card here and there for everybody. But at least knowing how much to set aside just helps to prepare you. So just think about everyone you plan on getting gifts for, how much of a gift you're going to give each individual person, and start to think about putting that money aside to afford the gifts when the time comes. And now some of you may be thinking, that is a lot of money, and I get it. If you have a gift or a craft to share, make something for your family and friends. That's even better. One of the best gifts I've ever given to my mom, and she would even tell you this, is time. As a gift, I gave her so many hours of me doing whatever she needed. So I ran errands, I did some yard work, and she loved it. Maybe a little too much, come to think about it. But use your noggin and use your heart to come up with even more cost-effective ways to give gifts for this holiday season. Don't forget birthdays. Don't let those creep up on you. In the spirit of giving, don't forget about yourself. You know, Black Friday's in the mix. And when you're out there picking up gifts for other people, it may be a good opportunity for you to pick up some things you've long desired for yourself. There's a couple items I'm thinking of picking up for myself as well. I have my eye on a vlogging camera. Now I'm using my cell phone and it's going well and I love it. I'm so thankful for my cell phone to be able to record videos for me to post out here on YouTube. But I would really love to get a Canon M50. And so I have been planning and saving towards that camera. So whenever Black Friday comes up, hopefully I can catch a good deal and get that, along with a couple external hard drives that I'd love to grab up to store content. You know, I believe time is valuable. You may be toiling with an appliance or an electronic that if you replaced would probably save you more time. And I know sometimes we don't want to spend the money on it, and that's understandable. But if it's causing you more heartache to keep and not replace, then it may just be beneficial for you to weigh whether replacing it and saving time is actually more beneficial than spending the money to replace it. So now that we know what events we plan to be a part of, whether or not we're going to travel, and what gift giving will look like, guess what it's time to do? You guessed it. Start saving. Start saving if you haven't already. If you get paid every other week, there's about 5 paychecks before Thanksgiving, about 7 before Christmas. Now don't freak out. I know that's not a lot, but there's still time to save. Essentially what you're going to do is add up all that you plan to do and the cost associated with those plans and take that amount divided by how many paychecks you have. So if it's 5 or 7 before Christmas, or you get paid once a month or more frequently than a couple times a month, then divide it over that amount and start to put that amount into your savings. Say you want to save $1,000 before Black Friday. That's about $200 a paycheck if you get paid every couple weeks. Okay, so just something to think about and consider. You'll want to start seeing how much you can put up to prepare yourself. Now, what we don't want to do, or what we want to seriously avoid, is going into our emergency fund. I mean, this isn't technically an emergency. And you'll want to save it anywhere. Just start saving it. You can use your checking account. You can use an envelope at the house. Whatever you decide. I use Capital One 360, and just a little bit about Capital One 360. I've used it for many years, even before it was Capital One 360, and it's like an online savings account. So I have my emergency fund set there, and I am using that for my holiday sinking funds as well. I like to use the approach out of sight, out of mind. I like to save up money and not see it growing every day. I just know it's there. I know it's okay. It's secure. It's growing interest, but I don't look at it every day. I just know that it's there and secure. I'm doing the same thing with my sinking funds. And I would suggest you do something like that too if it works for you. I will include in the description a link. It's a referral link. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use that link. If you do use that link, it serves as a referral for me. I get a small bonus and you get a bonus as well for using that link. Now, what I normally do is just put money into savings. I've actually already started just putting money into that savings account. And I also have a checking account through Capital One 360. So say I'm in the store and I'm ready to pick up a gift for someone, I can just go into my Capital One 360 app, transfer the money from my savings to my checking, and I have a card associated with that checking account, and I can just swipe right there, and the money will be taken out of what I had already set aside for my holiday spending. So I love it. I find it to be super convenient. But like I said, save it anywhere. If you want to make it fun, you can find a savings tracker. There's certainly plenty of holiday trackers that make this whole thing fun. You can go out on Google or Bing or out here probably on YouTube and find someone who's making a tracker to track their holiday savings. Make it fun. I tend to track mine through Mint or Every Dollar because I already have that with me. But yeah, you can make it fun and make it enjoyable. One more thing I want to share with you is to explore savings programs that reward you for activities. Check with your bank. Check with any memberships you have. Check at work and see if there are programs where you can be rewarded for your activities and then later turn those into gifts or gift cards. I'll give you an example. I work for a company. We have something called Vitality. and my sister had this where she worked as well. You get rewarded for healthy activities, wearing your Fitbit, walking so much, making sure to sleep a certain amount of hours, a lot of different activities, webinars, and everything. And so as you collect points, you can redeem those points in a virtual mall for fitness related products, say scales or Fitbits or bikes. You can also redeem those for gift cards. So what I like to do is throughout the year, just rack up those points, and then around the holidays, redeem my points for Amazon gift cards or Target gift cards or whatever gift cards where I can find a gift for my loved one. So I'm not necessarily coming out of pocket, and it doesn't cost me anything at all to rack up these points, but I'm able to transfer that into hundreds of dollars in gift cards and then therefore gifts, and I'm not having to come out of pocket. It's worth exploring. Another app that I use is Receipt Hog, and I essentially scan all my receipts. I'm rewarded points. I can redeem those points for an Amazon gift card or even a transfer to my PayPal account. So again, just start looking around. There may be programs right under your nose that reward you for activities that don't get you further into debt, but give you the opportunity to save up points for money or gifts. Think outside the box and feel free to share any that I'm not aware of. While we're doing all this saving, after the ball is dropped and we've entered 2020, if you have saved more than you used or needed during the holiday season, you can always make a lump sum payment on your debt. I mean, it's a win-win. Or you can save that money for the big R word that's been floating around lately for 2020. I want to share with you my experience about cash flowing Christmas last year for the first time in so long. I can't tell you how much peace I felt knowing that after the holiday season, I didn't owe anything to anyone. I was able to truly enjoy the gifts that I gave as well as received. The gifts that I gave were from my heart. I had worked hard for them. I had planned and saved. I had looked forward to giving them to my family, and I felt like it was a true offering. I felt prouder to give them. It was one of my favorite gift giving seasons, knowing that afterward I didn't have the burden of trying to figure out how I'd be able to afford it. So even if you only save $50 a month from here on out, it's better than having nothing and totally relying on credit cards. Just give it a try and keep me posted on how it's coming along. Thanks for watching and have a great one. I'll see you next time.